you want to be able to play your whole life. That's what separates guitarists and musicians from athletes. We're not using large muscle groups. We're using, it takes more effort to use a word processor sometimes. This is what we're doing, so that means you can play your whole life at a really high skill level, because we're not trying to run the 50-yard dash or 40-yard dash against a 20-year-old. Because, one of the things too, and this is why I say this, I'm not the hugest, I like sports a lot, don't get me wrong, but I don't get a chance to watch it. But when I'm from Chicago, and when Phil Jackson ran the Bulls, Michael Jordan had quit basketball after 3 championships, went into baseball, wasn't that good at it, then came back into basketball as an older guy. And Phil Jackson said the one thing that I thought was brilliant. This guy was like the Zen master, because he won the championship as a player on the Knicks. Then he went into the Canadian Basketball League and won a championship. Then he came back to the Bulls and won 6. And he went to the Lakers and won. Every single area this guy ever was in, he won a championship. And to me, that's bad, all right? So, he was a genius. He was like, he was the beginning of the era of coaches not screaming at players. But here's what he told Jordan. This is how I can equate this. Again, these are life lessons. He told Michael Jordan, I read his book, and he said that he told Jordan straight out that Jordan in his late 20s was not the Michael Jordan of 21. Okay, because that was Air Jordan, the guy who was a kid, man, and could fly into the hoop, just like a great baseball player or something else, or a young guitar player that's just got blinding speed. But it's different in music, and this is the reason. What he told Jordan was this. He said, now that you're older, he said you can be just as effective, but you've got to adjust your game. So what did Jordan do? And I don't know everything about sports, but instead of going to the hole and whack, what he did is he developed a fadeaway shot. So it was equally as effective, but instead of using these large groups in a way a 20-year-old used, he used it like a guy that's 28 or 29. Instead of going to the hole, he'd go there, fade away, and shoot it, and was deadly. And so this is how you equate that to guitar. You got to think to yourself, what happens if you want to play, you can play your whole life. See, what I had to do when I was a kid, or even when speed kills, because I was still a young guy, I didn't really have to warm up as much, but I always worked on how my technique was. I was very strict. I practiced really slow. And I found over the years, because I equated this stuff with piano, I've never had a hand injury. And so decades later, I'm still flying on guitar because I still use the very things you're going to get this DVD from. And that's the one thing that I worry about. Like if you're a little undecided about, or maybe Sean Lane did that, we don't know, because Sean Lane wasn't really, what was he, in his 40s, early 40s?
Yeah, 30s, 40s.
Oh, 30, yeah, he was in his 30s.
He also had arthritis, so.
So we don't know, but we know me. And I've been around a long time, and I'm killing it on guitar. So, but I would just that's what we're talking about. Be real careful and practice slow, But you play great. Anybody else want to plug in? Any other questions? But it's awesome. Yeah. Anyone else? How about you back there? I hope you hear everything good. Okay. How about you on bass? I love playing bass, by the way.
I really like your double technique that you've been using, and I kind of figured I could see the piano influence from it.
Yeah.
What are some exercises that can help develop it further?
Help develop what?
Help develop like your two-handed technique.
Well, I think that what you have to do is, I have a double guitar that I practice. Okay, so I've got, that's my new one, but I did it a measure at a time. And like, for example, whoops, sorry, I'm not plugged into that. I'm thinking my own rig. Could I take that and then you can plug in? What I did was, I don't do a Stanley Jordan technique on one guitar. This is a lefty and a righty guitar. So basically what I started doing, like for example, and it just and I would just take one measure at a time. And I would also, the things that I used to do, like with my double making, I would pick I would practice like the same way I practiced right-handed, and I'm lefty beginning, but you're talking about tapping techniques, right? Or like play something for me so I could. This has got distortion, and then we'll get to you next. Sorry, and then we'll get everybody here. You might want to turn. Can you turn down your volume just a little? Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a little distorted, but it might be cool for. Yeah, I can clean this up. Hang on.
And then I also practice the.
That's cool. Now, what about like ARPs and things like that?
The what?
Like here, can I have that for a second? Like there's, see what it sounds like is, I think you've got your technique down. You just have to do more.
Yes.
You know, like for example, you know, whether you have it like, so you can do like for example, you've got. In other words, practice, it sounds like you're doing a really good job. Because what I have to do, because it's left-handed, it's different, because picture a left-handed bass. But I practice the same things. Like for example, if you watch Billy Sheehan, you know, he does a lot of things where it's like, you know, that, or like you know, he's doing that 2-finger thing, but it's not really counterpoint. It's just like really crazy fast tapping. So I guess your question is like, what would you do? What exercise?
Yeah, what would be some exercise that I could do to improve on that?
Ah, man.
Because I've been the same stuff you were taking. I'm just like soaking it all in. Because you were talking about the piano exercise. I'm a cellist first, so I was using the same thing you were talking about with a lot of the classical cello exercises.
Are there any bass solos that you like that you want to play, or maybe like transcribe piano music, or?
Well, I did the one I can't even think the Moonlight Sonata.
Oh yeah.
I learned the tapping of that, the first portion of it. But I was, I see all the stuff that you do with like the 2 guitars and a double, and just figure like you're the person to ask about.
Well, what I did was this. If I could, if I could take it back, I on piano, like for example. Bach's got, the 2-part inventions, like this. I mean, have you guys heard that before? So what I did was, I practiced like for just a piece like that on piano, just one measure at a time. And I think what you have to do, the only thing you have to practice is just figure out what new piece you want to learn, because I think that's really where it comes down to. If you're going to use that technique, like when I improvise, like on guitar, there's all these different so you can do like or like so there's all this sorts of tapping things, but it's really just, what do you want to learn? So I think your tapping's really good, especially when you're doing those major scale things in octaves. But what I think that is that I'm trying to think about a piece that I haven't heard many bass players, maybe somebody else knows, that are playing 2 parts at the same time in a piece of music. I see it on sometimes other guitar players. They have those really extended frets, but I just think that, like, you learn Bohemian Rhapsody, right? Maybe there's another piece you want to learn. Maybe pick up a Bach piece, and because it always comes down, it's like the old sports adage, 1 game at a time, 1 measure at a time. And I mean, one of the things that I did to get my double guitar down is super slow. Like, for example, there's a song that I'm going to play, surf music. In classical music, I think that's an Alberti bass. And so, And so what I did, I can maybe plug in, it's all tuned up and ready to go. But what I did, I came up with a riff. It was like, I go like da 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 diddle da diddle da da da. And so I did it. I just worked it out. It's a riff that I wrote. It sounds very Mozart-like, but it's mine. And so I just sat there going, here, I'm gonna pick up the double. I'm gonna just, because I'm gonna have to retune it anyway. This is my brand new Telly double. We did this in about 3.5 weeks. Now, I don't know if you can, I can maybe plug in one side, but here, like when I play Pipeline, let me plug this in. Can you, shoot, I guess I might have to plug into my big rig here. I've got everything set. It might be pretty loud. Okay. We even have left-handed volume control. Okay, what I did on the song Pipeline, but that's simple. It's not that hard. I mean, people do, but it's a lot harder this way. What I did was I just took it slow, or like this. Sorry, I'm not used to the sound. It's not sustaining very well. Hang on. I just don't want to crank it up too loud. Well, the moral of the story is this. I just work on it. You know, and you've got really good tapping techniques. So it's like kind of reminiscent of Billy Sheehan in spots. That's all I did. Like tonight I do a bunch of stuff where I'm playing different things at the same time, but I just work on it. And it's a learned skill. And so I don't necessarily improvise, but I work on the part. And so that's really all I do with it. Does anybody want to come up here and check out this double?